Now, what do you think about math being political?
So I think math is very political. I think math is probably the most, out of the core subjects in K through 12, I think math is the most political. And I think one of the reasons that it's the most political is because there's this, again, another misconception that math is apolitical, because some people think that it's just numbers, and even though it is universal, it can be utilized in certain ways, to achieve certain ends. So, it's a very political subject. And especially when you think about the results of large groups of people, like namely Black people being deficient in mathematics, that's very political, because now you have a large population of people that can be more easily taken advantage of without even knowing that they're being taken advantage of. You can take advantage of us with a handshake and a smile, and we'll even thank you, because we don't know enough about calculations and computation to know that we're being taken advantage of.
Right.
And it really is a political necessity. And this is something that I got from studying the late Amos Wilson, African-centered psychologist, that because he was in a lecture, he was lecturing one time, and he was talking about how, you notice how every year there's a new fad or new gimmick to help children, purport to help children with, mathematics and math proficiency. But it never addresses like the fundamental issue that there's a political necessity in order for America to continue and Western society to maintain itself the way it is. Black children have to be, large concentrations of Black children have to do poorly in mathematics, or else, this society would implode upon itself, because then who are you going to take advantage of? Who are you going to exploit?
Right, exactly.
All these young brothers and sisters that do not have the problem solving skills, because that's another thing. Like, a lot of people that are uncomfortable with mathematics and think that math is irrelevant, they don't understand, or they never learn the fact that one of the major purposes of math is really so you can develop problem solving skills. Problem solving skills are transferable into any area of life. And as soon as you say that, most people, they experience cognitive dissonance, and they react angrily, and they say stuff like, how's this formula, or what I learned in geometry, or what I learned in algebra going to help me if I'm in the street and I'm about to get robbed or something.
Right.
It's about critical thinking, brother. Like, maybe you should have been able to think critically enough to not even put yourself in that situation in the first place. Maybe you shouldn't have walked down there. Maybe you should have considered all the facts of the scenario and been paying attention to what's going on around you. But again, that's the type of thinking that has to be developed.
It does have to be developed.
That type of thinking. A lot of people they never develop that type of thinking, that type of critical thinking and consequential thinking in order to solve problems. So, and it's very political, because there are people that benefit from the fact that, because again, we got to look at this, there's winners and losers in everything.
Right.
So a problem for me is a benefit to somebody else. So as long as my problem is maintained, then the benefit of the person that benefits from it is also maintained. Once my problem is solved, now that person has a problem, because now they lose their benefit. So as long as our people lack problem solving skills, which come from learning math and learning how to do math, and higher level math, then those that benefit from us having these problems will continue to benefit.
Right.